Alright, hello everyone. I am SMMidi, you've heard my voice already today. I am going to be running Sonic and the Secret Rings. This is a game that I have been learning this year. It has been about 6 months. This started off with me doing a 12-hour challenge to finally learn a Sonic game. And it went from... you know, I was trying to think which game I should start with, and being a Wii gamer, mainly, I was thinking, I'm not very good at Sonic games. I love Sonic games, but I'm not very good, and the remedy to that was, why don't I just pick up the janky one? And this is the janky one, this right here. The camera is inverted, I forgot. So, what we are going to be doing today is not any percent, but any percent NG plus Lite. And you might be wondering what the difference is. So I'm going to show you really quick what the start of a run normally looks like. This is not the start of the run, but this is what you would normally have to do at the beginning. So this is Lost Prologue. It's basically just a tutorial. And I do also have a hand cam and a face cam for this because it's just that jank. And I can't describe how jank this is. So this is how it starts. You have the text box that pauses you, whatever. You can skip some of those. And you have to do a jump at the beginning to get some speed. And then you have to just run. You have to also use motion controls to move, because this game is very normal. We won't be using the D-pad for a long time in this run, by the way. I want you to keep track of how long it is before we use the D-pad. So that is the first level in a regular any percent level, in a regular any percent run. Now I'm going to show you the start of this run, and this is where time is going to start. So any percent NG plus is basically any percent, but what if we started with the skills that you have at the end of an any percent run? That way you're not on a maxed out file, because a maxed out file has all the skills and is just incomprehensible to keep up with. But you do start off with a lot of the good skills. So I will go into the equipping menu and I will show you. So normally you start with 0 skills. This game has a skill feature. It's actually one of the first, if not the first Sonic game to do that. But here, as you can see, this is an any percent completed file. We have 210 skill points and we are going to be using a bunch of these. The biggest ones are sub-warp boost, which gives us a huge amount of speed and acceleration. We also have cancel dash. We have stuff like homing stability, which makes the game easier, makes things quicker. Basically, all these skills just make the game less bad. So, hopefully, that will make this run a lot nicer to start off with than regular any percent. And we're also skipping the tutorials, which cuts off a few minutes. So I will explain these skills as we go, but we will get into the run starting here, starting with Sand Oasis. We are going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So right at the beginning, this is Sand Oasis. This is the first level in the game, and the main thing we're going to be doing is go for the goal, and then the rest of the missions are sort of side missions to add stuff to the game. So right at the beginning, rather than doing a jump, we're going to do a jump and then a stomp. And instantly when we stomp, we're going to get a bunch of speed, as you can see. And compared to that tutorial we just saw, absolutely lightning fast. So the beginning of the run is a lot more fast-paced than we'd normally see. We also have a gauge on the right-hand side. That is for our speed break. We would not normally see that for 40 minutes. However, in this run, we're going to see it within 1 minute. So, yeah, it's a pretty big difference. So that is the only way we'll be using the D-pad though. So I'm going to go ahead and speed break. And as you can see, you get a bunch of speed. And that is the only time you ever use the D-pad. The only other time is if you use time break, which is down. And you're never going to do that in a speedrun because it's a speedrun, we're going to go fast. So, essentially, there is lore to this game as well. I would actually do a cutscene percent run if it didn't add like 40 minutes to the run. I'm not even joking. Basically, this is the first of 2 storybook games in the Sonic series. And basically, it is based on the Arabian Nights, Aladdin, and Sonic has been brought into the Arabian Nights to save them from being erased by an evil genie called Eraser. He's bad. He's the bad guy. We don't like Eraser. And we've been brought into the Arabian Nights by Shara. So that is another genie, a good genie, that will be helping us. Or I say helping us, it's pretty much just going to be a bunch of dialogue that comes up. And the funny thing is, with these stages going by so quick compared to usual, a lot of the text boxes will just keep on coming constantly. And here there's a big skip. We're going to do hold 2, and you're going to be sliding all the way along by charging a jump at the same time. And now it's pretty much just an auto-scroller. We're going to be going through on the ledge. This is actually quicker than the usual ledge movement. Normally it's really, really slow. But here, because of our skills we have, it's going by a lot faster. We are just going to play safe here. I think I would have got hit to that. Yeah, the skills do sound like speedrun names in a way. There are a lot of skills in this game. You get skills for leveling up. You also get skills for getting specific gold medals as well, or getting specific number of medals. So there's a lot of stuff to do in this game. And you can tell the devs cared about this game, because there is really a lot to do. It's just that unfortunately they were forced to use motion controls as well. So here we're just going to go for a jump, going to land up here, and we'll go for a speed break as well. And at the end you're going to see, because this is auto run, you're going to see some of these moments where you can just kind of dodge everything. If you hold the right direction there, rather than going in the middle or on the left, you actually just dodge all the enemies. So that's what makes this speedrun great. Or at least improves it compared to a casual playthrough. Knowing the missions to play for any %, and also knowing where you can dodge stuff for free, does make a big difference in this run. So now we're going to be moving on to the extra missions. A lot of these go by very fast. The first is Die Hard Challenge. This is a deathless mission, so pretty punishing if you are starting out and you're not too sure what exactly to be doing, what strats to be using. But here, the main thing is me not being thrown off too much by having the extra soul gauge. So again, normally we would not have soul gauge, and that is another interesting point. So I just took damage, and that is obviously bad for this mission. I'm going to grab that rich ring, give us 20 rings, and we should just be able to jump at the end, and that dodges that hill. That hill is a massive pain if you don't jump there. So what you can actually do is there is a skill that I've equipped in the post-game that I wouldn't even normally use in any %. And essentially what it does is it increases the rings I lose when I take damage, because you don't lose all your rings when you take damage. This game has a hit point system, because I think they realised in development it's kind of janky, so they couldn't just make you lose all your rings like a regular Sonic game. So by the base, you lose 20 rings. With the skills I have equipped, I lose even more rings than that. And the problem with that is obviously it's risky, especially for deathless levels. Here we're just avoiding hitting the jars. It's not deathless anymore. It can be a bit janky, especially at the end. I will get into how, especially for this run, but that's to come later. So yeah, essentially that skill, rather than me losing soul gauge when I get hit, I will actually gain additional soul gauge, which is very unusual, because normally you're punished quite heavily in the speedrun for getting hit, but here you actually, in a way, you're not really punished. You do lose time, but yeah, here I'm just going to go for a quick speed break and then cancel it, because otherwise we're going to hit these jars. We have to hold full left, full right, full left, go for a jump here, and I do have to delay my hits, otherwise I'm going to get hit to the fire there by that enemy, and if you get hit to that fire, you're going to fall straight into one of those jars. So it's a bit more technical than in a regular any % run where you would not normally be going this fast. But moving on now, we have another special challenge. Now we're going to be breaking jars. I don't know why. I don't know why they suddenly want us to break the jars, and before they just didn't. But yeah, we're now going to break the jars. And again, starting off with the big speed at the beginning is going to be very helpful. So doing a jump and a stomp, and that gets us up to full speed. You actually do want to avoid homing attacks here. It's another thing this game introduced, is homing attacks. And it's a big thing in modern Sonic now, but I believe this was the first Sonic game to introduce homing attacks. So yeah, we can just do a stomp there as well. And the fire attack you're seeing does actually do area of effect damage as well. Normally we would unlock it in any percent, but it wouldn't be until later in the run. So it's another really big thing in the run here. And they're actually doing a slide to avoid getting hit. That is yet another skill we have that we would not normally get until very late in the run. So I can just cheese that a little bit, because every time you're sliding by charging a jump, you just won't get hit. So that's pretty nice to have. And that does include on ledges, where I'm charging a jump on ledges. So we will be seeing that later. So next is the head-to-head mission. So we have a few of these in the run, and this is to beat Uhu to the goal. So Uhu is a genie we have to race sometimes. Thankfully, the ones in any percent are actually pretty simple. They can be tricky, especially the one in Night Palace, which is the last area of the game. But generally speaking, they're pretty nice, especially with this speed at the beginning. So this is actually a mission we would have our soul gauge for in regular any percent. Basically, in a regular any percent run, you actually have to backtrack a little bit. So you have to do Sand Oasis, and then you have to do a few other missions, and then come back to Sand Oasis later. Just to... I actually should have used that here, but that's fine. We will still handily win the race. There's not really too much that can threaten us here. But yeah, normally we would have to unlock Soul Gauge and then come back to this area. But here that's not the case, because again, it's any percent NG+, so we already have it. But here in any percent NG+, I've actually decided to just group all of the levels together rather than needing to backtrack, because we already have everything unlocked that we need. All these green missions are the ones we're playing. There are other ones that are unlocked, but those are not required in regular any percent, so in the spirit of that, we will not be playing them. And thankfully, that is something this game did well. So, yes, it doesn't tell you the mission order, and that is one of the biggest things wrong with this game, if I'm honest. But also, thankfully, a good thing they did is the missions that are required in the any percent to actually progress the game, to progress the story, they are not the worst in the game, I have to say. There are some, I'm currently doing a casual play of 100%. Currently on pause a little bit, but yeah, it's in the works. Hopefully we'll finish it. But yeah, so, and we also do lose rings while we're on rails there as well. That's another skill I have. And we are just going to go for a small speed break here. We do have another one coming up, and we have a bunch of soul gauge to use here, so we're going to use this pretty early. There we go, and we're done. Yeah, so this game does actually lock a lot of the difficult missions to outside of any percent, which is quite nice. It's just a shame that they didn't actually communicate which ones progress the story. It's a bit of a sticking point with this game, if I'm honest. To be honest, I would say that is more of a criticism than the motion controls. I think I'm a bit biased because I've done so many runs of it at this point, but yeah, if I'm honest, it's really more of a problem than the motion controls themselves. Because I actually, when I was playing this casually at the start of the year, I actually gave up and I looked up the speedrun route, and then suddenly I was having a good time with the game. So yeah, go figure. I think it makes a difference in my opinion. So here we're actually going to avoid some rings just so I can avoid getting hit to the spikes and keep our speed at the same time. Really want to go for that 20 ring because it's obviously very good. We want to get to 99 rings on this mission, and we actually had a ring bonus at the beginning, starting with 5. Going to hit this switch on the way through, and we're done. So you might notice at the end as well, you have an XP amount that you gain. So there is also something at the end of that called technical bonus. You're not seeing much of it because I'm skipping through all the text boxes, but yeah, yeah, because I'm getting a bunch of gold medals, Sonic just says that was tight every time. Probably not every time. If I skill issue later, or if it's a mission where it's not as possible with the skills I have, then yeah, it's not as likely to happen. Here I'm going to just dodge that spring, very nice. You actually want to avoid going on the rails here. Rails are pretty slow. Yeah, perfect section there. Yeah, there's a lot a lot going on in this run that makes it different from regular any percent. So we can also homing attack from quite far there. I'm actually glad that input didn't go through. Thank you, game, for being janky and wrong. Because if that did go through, then I would have homing attacked nothing. I would have just got a regular air dash, and I would have gone straight into the water. Probably not recoverable. So this is a timer level. Pretty simple. We do have a skip coming up here, though, so I am going to attempt to go for that. I'm going to hold the full right here. There you go. Perfect skip. So you're supposed to kill the enemies there. What we do is we just don't do that. Who's got time for that? We're just gonna clip through the wall. Yeah, so pretty nice skip. Failing that though, speed break does actually kill enemies that you pass through. But there it actually doesn't hit them, so I would have needed to backtrack a little bit and kill them had that not worked. So as I was saying, the technical bonus. That is basically a damageless reward. So if you don't get hit or you don't die in a level, you get 2 times XP, which is really, really important in regular any percent. Here, all it's going to mean is we get more levels. More levels means more skills, more skill points we can use. But mainly, in this run, it's going to mean that we have... that's unfortunate. Yeah, mainly in this run, it's going to mean we have extra skill points. Not extra skill points, extra soul gauge to use. That is really unfortunate that that didn't work. Yeah, I feel like that should have worked. So let me explain this boss while we're here. So, essentially what I want to do is I want to hit the right-hand side, because that will just get you all the hits you need in one go. Unfortunately, it didn't seem to work there. So just with some very carefully timed homing attacks, we will get through. And that is the level done. So yeah, yeah, you want to go for the right-hand side there, and then just get a cheeky extra hit when the red marker appears, which is when you can homing attack. The green is not when you can homing attack. It's only when the red appears. So if you go the right-hand side and the boss behaves, which I find actually easier in regular any percent because of the skills we have unlocked and equipped, it's actually a bit harder here, but it's not really worth going out of our way to unequip them. So what we have now is Dino Jungle, and this is our next area of the game. It's another one we would not normally start with Speed Break and all of these skills, so we're just absolutely outclassing the dinos here. Although, at this point, you need to dodge the dino because wherever you are at that point, the dino behind you will charge into you. So you do have to dodge that. And we do actually have a skill equipped right now called Pearl Collector. It's going to mean our hitbox is higher to collect these pearls, which increases our soul gauge. And as you can see, we are just absolutely farming. We are totally maxed out on the soul gauge right now. So we're going to go right-hand side here because it's actually faster. And we're just going to wait for these springs to appear. And here we're actually going to avoid these enemies because it's not faster to go that way. There is a motion warning coming up, so do just be aware. That is the only point of the game. Look away now. And you can look back again. The game is not going to do that again. I have no idea why they put that in the game. Flying pots, by the way, you have to just completely mash the heck out of motion controls to get through. And we'll do it again. So I actually won't talk while I'm doing those because otherwise, yeah, my voice will just sound funny. It will sound like I'm talking into a electric fan. So what I just did there as well, just to avoid that that flower enemy. Basically, with the fire gaze, it's really safe for me to just go ahead and do one homing attack and then just stomp, because the fire attack not only will really help me to not get hit, but sometimes it'll actually just kill the enemy. So those can be pretty good to use in this run. So here we do have a bit of an auto-scroller. Bit of a deceiving auto-scroller though, because technically your movement does affect how quick you go through here, and it does make it easier or harder to get hit to those spike balls. So you do have to be a little bit careful. Okay, so here we do have to do some ledge climbing. I'm going to do some sneaky jumps, stomps, and air dashes just to get through a little quicker, though. And here I'm just going to... Oh, I tried to speed break that. Didn't quite work out. That's fine. I will speed break these, though. Normally, you'd have to wait for the dino to swipe through those. We're going to speed break this as well. And we'll jump over that catapult. We'll see catapults later in this level, and other levels as well. But for now, we will dodge them where we can because they're a little bit slow and a little bit janky. Go figure for this game. Anyway, here's a catapult. There you go. You're supposed to do something like that. I don't know exactly what you're supposed to do, but something like that. And speed break to the end. And yeah, skipping the cutscenes as well. That's why I'm mashing I'm mashing plus and 2 in the menus to skip the menus across, and also skipping the text boxes when they appear. And also in the XP menu, mashing plus makes it a lot faster. It's something that really goes unnoticed for beginners. I know when I started out, I did not know that. So what we have is, once again, another Die Hard challenge. It's a little bit risky because these log areas, these are instant kills if you go in the water. So you do want to be a little bit wary. And you might notice these red rings as well. They are fire souls. We actually would normally have more of these to unlock, but because once you unlock them, they are gone for good on your file. So we don't actually have all of them, because in my any percent run that I did to unlock this file, I actually managed to get some of those already. But they give you 500 XP, so some of them are worth collecting, some of them are not. Most of them that you can see here are not worth collecting, because again, they're the ones I missed in any percent. And we're just going to go left here, that will dodge the enemy, going to go on this invisible rail. And, oh, I did just get hit there. I'm going to speed break. I'm going to take advantage of that and just speed break through. Yes, I was on no rings, but yeah, you can just breeze through those enemies. And here I'm just going to jump over this. Going to be a little careful here, because any damage would be the end of this attempt, and I would need to go again. I'm going to just take this, and rather than try and dodge these cacti, which is very difficult, and you have to be a little bit patient with them, we're just going to speed break. Why not? Just speed break through them. Yeah, I have no idea why in the regular stage they had no cacti there, and then as soon as it's a deathless, they put a bunch of cacti in the way. It's like they did it on purpose. It's like, this game's Kaizo. This game is just Kaizo, in my opinion. So next is a rampage level, and this is first of many where we're going to need to defeat multiple enemies. This one is actually one of the more difficult ones, because we are having to defeat flowers each time. Nice, thank you Catapult for actually cooperating. And now you're not, of course you're not. There's always one moment with this game where it just doesn't cooperate. Here though, we are going to be a bit cheeky. We're going to avoid that first one because it's just a bit slow to go up there. We're going to go for this, we're going to fall. Oh, it didn't quite work, but basically what you want to do is you actually want to wait until that enemy, wait for about a second for you to actually hit that enemy. We're going to have to go backwards here. There we go. Can't actually homing attack that one straight away. It's a little bit odd. Some of the interactions you get with certain skills in this game can be difficult. And yeah, we do need to act pretty quickly with this spring. There we go. Nice. And I am just going to have to wait here just for these to spawn in. Going to be very careful here. And there is another bit of an important thing coming up here. What we're going to do is we're actually going to go a bit slower. We're going to wait for these to spawn in. And we're going to just mash these attacks, wait a second, and then stomp. And that is going to get us the switch. Reason why I waited there is otherwise we are going to not manage to get those. And I'm just going to play safe here, because you do need to be a bit careful speed breaking through there. Otherwise you're going to go straight past those enemies and actually not hit them. So the best thing about that is pretty much optimal. Those are the optimal 10 enemies to hit. If I miss any, I do need to play a little bit more to actually get any more enemies. There are backups. There aren't always backups in the Rampage levels. If you get to the end and you haven't killed all the enemies you need, then it just fails you. So you do have to be careful. But Rampage does have some source, which we will see later. That's actually one of the sourceless Rampage levels. But later we will see ones that we can really cheese. So here we're going to hit this switch, and the switch actually, for the Observant... Oh, whoops. That is not what I wanted to do. That was autopilot from the previous mission. That's what happens when I talk and play at the same time. But it gives me a chance to explain these tutorial rings. So normally you have to wait for those to fully contract. Here you don't have to, because essentially they work by default, because they are for a tutorial. Here though, I am actually going to need to go down. No, that's not possible. I am going to need to die here. So there is actually a skip here if you go this way. What I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to try and get to the bottom path. Oh no. Come on. Alright, let me focus up for this. Just going to take a moment to go backwards. There we go. So yeah, essentially you're supposed to... You know what? I'm gonna restart this because this is not going great. The better way is actually to not hit that switch. I'm getting my any percent and my any percent NG plus strats mixed up. So the reason why, so you would normally want to go for that switch. So you go the left hand side with the dino, and then when you get to the top there. I'm just going to be careful here because I don't want to... I can die here and that's fine, but I cannot kill any enemies. Otherwise, that is a restart. So, by going down here, what that's going to do is it's going to spawn in this spring. We can then go this way. And then we get on the log. By going the other way on the rail, what you want to do is, in the intended path by going that way, what you have to do, and we're just going to speed brake here and do this ledge, and we're done. Fantastic. Alright, much easier once we restarted and went on the normal path. So basically the skip in any percent works by basically jumping off the rail early. Kind of like I was doing there to avoid hitting the spring. There we go, and we're done. Yeah, so if you follow that intended top path, the problem with that is that there's a really, really difficult launch ring you have to time, where if you go with a full charge, you actually just hit an enemy and lose. So you do have to be careful there. The game just kind of troll you a little bit. Okay, we are just going to be careful here, make sure we can get some rings back. Oh, that's unfortunate. Should have expected it, but that's fine. You might notice we actually keep our soul gauge upon respawning, which is interesting. Didn't quite get the skip over to here. And I'm actually going to be getting a hit using the fire gaze. Normally we need 3 hits on these eggs. We're actually just going to need 2 and a fire gaze hit. So here, going to go for this. Now we're on here. I wouldn't normally go for this. But we ended up on the catapult, so we had to. No. Oh, that's unfortunate. That does mean I'm going to have to do an extra loop at the end, but that is fine. Basically, there's only 5 eggs in this level. You do need to know where they are. So it's a little bit difficult casually. We're going to avoid that spring, otherwise you go the wrong way, and you're going to avoid an egg. You don't want that. Got very lost in my first 90% run of this game by taking the wrong path there. So an interesting quirk with these eggs is you can actually speed break them as well. So I'm gonna try and be swag in a moment and see if I can hit one of those. So we have to actually hold the Wii Remote upside down to go backwards. And we're going to go for a speed break. There you go.
Great job, Sonic.
So here I actually need to land and go backwards, because if I do a homing attack from there, it actually won't hit that enemy. Really, game? Okay, interesting. That is not something that has happened to me in a run. And I can't go backwards now. So, what happened there is I just flew over. I just flew over to the dino path, which is not what's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to get onto that path with the other egg there. Unfortunately, the game said no, so I'm going to have to do another loop. So this is a bit unfortunate. But while we're doing another loop, I will just talk about the charity a little bit more. So we are raising money for mermaids. They help transgender and gender diverse young people and their families in the UK. We currently have £25 raised, and we have some incentives and bid wars for the event, which are targets and polls on Tiltify, I believe. So we do have a catch fish bid war at the moment, for example, and you can donate to both. You don't just have to do an incentive or a bid war. These cycles are very odd, by the way. I just had to wing that because I had no idea what was going on there. So this time, what I'm hoping for is the game will actually cooperate and not throw me something that has never happened to me. I think it was probably because of the extra speed I had, if I'm honest. Because that would... I'm sorry? Again? Okay, I am just going to have to be really, really slow. On the next loop, I don't know why that's doing that. First time it happens ever to me, and it happens twice. Brilliant. Well, I mean, it's not just a first, it's now a second. I mean, it's costing me a lot more than the second, but... Don't you just love this mission? Don't you just love it? You want to see it a third time? Because I do. Game trolling? Nah, it's normal. Yeah, it's pretty normal. It's secret rings, what can I say? I am literally, next time I go through, I'm just going to stomp. If I die here, it will be so sad, because the game actually starts you from the beginning on 0 eggs, and I will have to redo the whole thing. Which, to be honest, won't be much different from having to do a full loop, if I'm honest. Can we see it a fourth time? I hope not. I hope we don't. Sonic is magnetically attracted to the dino. Yeah, he's just straight there. Okay, right, let's go very slow. Come on, Sonic. You can do it. There we go. Onto the catapult. Straight onto here. And egg. And hopefully that is the last mission that happens for. Thankfully, that's one of the only ones that is that bad if you miss an egg. All the others are not nearly as bad as that. So next is Evil Foundry, and this is actually the main culprit in the game for the backtracking. So normally, the Evil Foundry split, you would actually just play this one mission, go for the goal, and that is it. That's all you would do for a couple of areas. You then have to play forward a couple of areas. You have to face the Pirate Storm boss. And the lore of that, and I'm just going to do another big slide here, by the way. Because of our skills in post-game, we can actually just go through the entire thing rather than having to slide at all. And because we're so fast, these cycles are different compared to normal. So yeah, getting hit there, unfortunate. Gonna do a little skip. Yes, nice. Avoiding going on the rail there. Fantastic. Once again, too fast, so the cycles are different. You just have to be really, really impromptu avoiding those. But yeah, the lore in this game is you have to face this this like fire arena. And skill check, by the way, you're normally supposed to time break there to avoid that. But you just have to get lucky instead. But you're supposed to go to Pirate Storm to face the water-themed boss, and hopefully this will work. This is another thing that doesn't always cooperate. It does! Wow, okay. Apparently I paid my uncooperation tax. Sonic not cooperating tax. I paid it earlier. So it makes up for it now. Fantastic. And we stayed on top path, so that was a fantastic area. Yeah, getting thrown down to bottom path there is pretty slow. I'm just going to use a speed break here because there's not really many opportunities to do so. Oh, managed to get on the top rail. Unfortunate. That's fine. That's the getting locked onto the spring there. And, ooh, getting hit. That's okay. Just going to get our ring straight back again. And it does give us some soul gauge. So normally you would have to get the Water World Ring from the Pirate Storm boss in order to actually get through here. I'm actually going to have to play deliberately slow, otherwise we're going to get hit to those fire explosions. There we go. Whoa, that was interesting. Bit of a warp there. Very odd. So yeah, you normally have to play for the Water World Ring in Pirate Storm and then come back to this boss. And the lore is that you're supposed to like summon a storm on the boss and kind of weaken the boss enough to actually fight them. And you will see what I mean soon. There's a bit of a skip coming up here. So we're going to just go for a attack here, homing attack that before it falls. All those obstacles actually fall eventually. Fantastic there, managing to avoid the spike ball. There's a good cycle. You can kind of get screwed over by cycles there a little bit. And we're at the end of the level. We can just speed break to win. Yeah, you can't speed break through those spike balls, unfortunately, because you do get hit to them. Can't wait for Uncooperation 2 Night Palace uppies. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That will probably be a thing. Although in practice, I did hit it. So, maybe we'll hit it again. Who knows? I mean, now I've said it. Maybe I've jinxed it. Oh, I don't know. Something to worry about in Night Palace, I guess. It's a big skip, but it's not necessary to hit. It just saves a lot of time. It just saves 50 seconds, you know, nothing big. Anyway, we're going to go on top path here because it is faster. I hit a barrel. Don't think I've ever done that before. Anyway, I have Pearl Collector once again. That makes it so I can hit those rich pearls. Same as rich rings, they give you 20 pearls rather than the regular 1. Didn't have as much as I wanted because I didn't go dead straight in the middle, but that is absolutely fine. Love when I get my jump dropped by the game. My jump input just did not go through. And we're going to speed break through here. Just going to be safe at the end though. Don't want to get hit. It's a very, very quick Die Hard challenge, and it's not really worth the risk. So now we are going to be playing against the boss. Achievement, barreling through. Yeah, retro achievements. We got you covered. Talking of this game as well and stuff like that, there is actually a port being worked on right now called Reignited. Really would recommend it if you want to play this game with traditional controls. They have pretty much every area done at this point, and I would highly recommend it because it looks very, very promising. What I need to do here, though, is I need to hit these orbs. What I can do is I can use the Fire Gaze to actually area of effect all of them if I hit in the middle. And now what we need to do is jump, jump, stomp, and the stomp is important because of that fire attack. Now, if I do it properly on both of these, we are actually going to get enough hits to just finish off the boss in 2 cycles, rather than needing a third. We're going to speed break here. Just going to be a little careful because I don't want to go too far. Just going to go backwards. 1, 2, stomp, and we're done. And that is the boss. If you have to play the last cycle, it is really, really difficult. And the reason for that is because the whole arena goes down like in the regular defensive phase that we just saw. However, he throws a bunch of barrels at you, so not only is it slow, it's also a pretty difficult phase. So yeah, really, really nice skip. Very beginner friendly, I would say, as well. If you can familiarize yourself with stomping, keeping yourself still, and waiting for those orbs to appear, then it is a pretty good skip. And if I'm honest, it's actually safer than doing the third cycle. The third cycle is pretty tough.
Let's go, Shara.
I do love a skip that's not only good for the speedrun, but also safer for the speedrun. It just incentivizes a beginner to learn it. And I did learn it quite early on in my career with this game, I have to say. So now the lore is that not only have we beat the boss, we do have to escape. Because the boss dropped a time bomb upon exploding. got 3 minutes to get out of the building, otherwise it's going to make the whole place blow. Thankfully, we are Sonic, and we are fast, so we're not going to struggle with 3 minutes. Who would ever possibly fail this mission in a run? Not me. Could not be me. Could not be me. Just wait here, go through all of those. Fantastic. Get a speed break here as well. There we go. Go over here. Sometimes you get caught on that edge. And we're going to do another speed break. Remember, you go through spikes and everything like that. We're not going to go for a full speed break because otherwise you get hit to this red thing. Or apparently you do anyway. Sure. Not going to go for a full charge here. And we're going to speed break to the end. Perfect. Pretty good level, if I'm honest. Not the best, but could have been a lot worse than that. And by doing that, what we have managed to do is we have managed to obtain the Red World Ring. We don't actually see the cutscenes in any %NG plus Lite, but in regular any % you would see the Red World Ring, and you need those World Rings to defeat the final boss. So Eraser Jin is who you face in Night Palace, but later on we're going to have to face... Whoa, that was an interesting collision. Yeah, if you get a janky collision off of an obstacle, you actually go flying, which is technically faster, but also a bit inconsistent. So, yeah, not really that reliable. But yeah, we have to face Eraser Jin, and then if we have all the world rings, you can also face the true final boss, which we do need for any %, Alf Layla Walayla. And I would love to hit 2 cycle in the marathon. I think it will be pretty sick. I managed to do it in my practice run, so maybe it happens again today, who knows. Gonna save just enough to do another speed break up here as well. Not gonna use all my meter. Also, this is one of the best songs in the game, in my opinion. It's really good. This area is pretty obnoxious though, casually, because the wind is fighting against you. Yeah. What if in our game that's already janky because of motion controls, what if we made it so that if you don't do everything perfectly, you just go even slower and backwards? Yeah, what a great idea. Anyway, there what I did was an air dash just after I killed the enemy. It's actually faster, believe it or not, than doing anything else there in any %. I believe it's probably the same here as well in any %NG plus with the skills we have. Because the air dash, when you fall, it actually just makes us already have the good amount of speed there. But if we do any other movement, then yeah, it's not the best. We're gonna get on the rails. The rails just fight against the wind for free. And what we have here is a big skip coming up. This is Levitated Ruin 1 skip. So I'm going to use some of these, because this is our last chance to use them for a little bit. Now what I need to do is I need to get into a very specific position and clip into the fortress. Believe it or not, this fortress has the end goal. So if I can do this... Oh, not quite. Okay, so what I will need to do now, because this skip saves genuinely 2.5 minutes, I believe. It's a huge amount. So we will just have to take a death here. Just going to sit on this enemy. It's a little bit easier to line up once you respawn. I will need some focus time. That's not where I want to be, but I'll give it a go. No, not quite. I will be going for this until I hit it.
Are you okay, Sonic?
Just leave it to me.
Are you okay, Sonic?
Just leave it to me. Speed break.
Not quite working out there, unfortunately. So, yeah, basically to explain the trick, what I need to do is I need to line up with the door. Once you go past a certain point, then you actually are locked to the path. So it's a really, really tricky skip. It actually took me a long time before I started implementing this into runs. So, Very tricky one here. Oh, not quite. So, once again, while we're stuck here, to be honest, if I do take a bit too long here, then I will just move on. But yeah, it will be very slow if we do. Yeah, and as you can see from the hand cam, you have to hold a very odd angle to get this. No, not quite. Yeah, he's not going forward. Normally, I'd expect him to go forward. You want to eventually be holding like a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock position with the Wii remote. But you also want to be on the right-hand side here. No, it didn't go through. Air dash didn't go through there. Yeah, I just don't want to go past these enemies, because otherwise I will be locked out of doing the skip. It's not working. I'm going to give it until 45 minutes on the timer, I think. Because I do want to show this off. And I do have the time to afford. Thankfully in NG+, because we have such a high meter, and also when I get hit, I'm actually sort of gaining soul gauge, especially from these enemies as well. I can just speed break straight to the enemy and try again. I'm not sure why it's not working, because that should be working there. No, he's not getting the speed that I would be expecting. Normally you'd be going forward a lot more than that. Oh, this is not an ideal setup. Yeah. So unfortunately, if I jumped forward again there, Sonic would actually have gone a little bit too far. Oh, that was promising. They didn't quite get the air dash out in time. You have to leave it very late. So the reason why it works is because when you get to that part that bends around the corner, you want to then do this. I'm hoping this is it. So we want to get into that fortress. There we go, and we're in. And suddenly we are just at the end, and now the game just doesn't really know what to do. So it does fix the camera when we're in here, in fairness, but when we get to the top, it is going to break completely, because it just does not know where we are. We're going to speed break through here, hit this spring, speed break again, and right at the end, yeah, as you can see, you're just doing a couple of jumps because the game doesn't know what to do. Yeah, it took us 3 minutes, chat. 3 minutes. Those were the slowest 3 minutes of your life. Yeah, so the IGT in this game is a bit jank in the levels. So when you die in a level, it actually just resets your IGT. So IOs for this game are a little bit cooked. But the IGT of the file itself, which is what's used for regular any % runs, that is unaffected. Anyway, we're going to go on a real rampage here. We're going to go on a real tear. We're going to tear up the city with this one. And we're done. Next mission. Yeah, we're done. Real rampage there. One enemy. One singular enemy. The funniest thing with that level is they actually found 2 places to put a fire soul. 2 places in that level. Actually, it might be 3. Is it 3? I already forgot. But there's one behind you, and there's one if you go extra high. But for the speedrun, you can just do it in 1. You don't have to go that high to reach the enemy, especially with homing. The homing expand skill, where you can homing attack from further away.
Good luck, Sonic.
So this is now actually a slightly longer than regular go for the goal, which is a quirk of specifically Levitated Ruin. This is a special mission where we need to save Sinbad And as you saw Sinbad right at the beginning, I'll point him out again in a second because we're almost done with this first section. We have to defeat 4 fortresses and pull these levers to shoot these beams of light and break each lock. And you can see, there's Sinbad. There you go. Never seen that character before in my life. It's Sinbad. So these rails are actually pretty tricky to dodge if you don't know what you're doing, but for each one, I actually have a specific side I want to be on memorized, and it makes it a lot simpler to deal with. And we're just going to stomp at the end, so we'll get onto the spring. And these ropes are a little bit tricky, especially because the ones further down actually want you to kind of lock back onto them if you don't do it perfectly. So you can just be constantly stuck here if you're unfortunate enough and you're on bad cycles. Thankfully, we get straight through. And here it's not actually worth speed braking because we're right here. Remember, speed brake is fast, but also it does take a little bit to initiate. And whenever you get to these sections, you actually have to press the button a couple of times for it to initiate. So it's not always worth speed braking just because it's there. And here what we're going to do is we're just going to hold left the whole way, and then right at the end we're going to go middle, and that avoids everything. And it also, if you're lucky enough, you actually hit those rich rings as well. So here I'm just going to hit all these enemies, go backwards, hit that switch, get in here, and we're in tower number 3. So just starting off that switch to make those spike balls move. That is fine. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and homing attack this this one here and then get in the spring, and the reason for that is because it spawns in the launch rings as a little shortcut. We're going to do that in the next level as well, hopefully. It's not as much of a skip there, but it's a very short level, so in comparison it actually makes the level really, really quick. Sinbad about to never chuckle. Yeah, Sinbad never chuckles. Yeah, this game does love putting regular Sonic characters in. A lot of the cutscenes in this game have, and by the way, this one is literally just hold left until this bit where there's a spiral, and then you can obviously fairly easily see what's coming and sight read it. Yeah, this game loves in the lore just not having anyone, like there are recurring Sonic characters in here, except Sonic. Sonic is just Sonic, but everyone else is actually slightly different. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to get hit to this so I can showcase a little skip. Because if I get hit to this with the skills I have, I'm actually going to gain soul gauge. So I'm going to try and do a speed break. Full left here, and hopefully we get in. There we go. There's another clip. Straight into there. And as I was mentioning earlier, the skills I have equipped mean that I lose rings. I actually lose more rings than usual. The default amount is 20. I'm actually losing more because of the skills I have equipped. But in return, I actually get boosted speed. And I also get, as you can see there, more soul gauge rather than losing soul gauge when I get hit. So it's a pretty big one. Oh, unfortunate. I actually want to do a jump there to make Sonic go faster. He's a little bit slow walking along there with no speed. So you actually want to do a jump to kind of bonk your head on that box there. Didn't quite get it, but it's fine. It's only a small thing. And just do a jump at the end. He'll go backwards, and that's it. That's the mission. So it's a very, very long one. And actually, because of that skip we did in Levitated Ruin 1, it makes it way longer than the regular Go for the Goal mission. So next is another Deathless. This one's a little bit more involved. So what we're going to do here, we're going to start off with a homing attack. We're going to charge a jump, and we're going to go backwards, because why not? Now, here's the tricky bit. I am going to go slow through here, Again, I can go slightly quicker on ledges, so I do have to be a little careful. I'm going to go on here, and then I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go the other side as well. Remember, you have to hit the gates to actually make the game function properly in those sections. Okay, that's fine, we saved it anyway. Yeah, we do have to do a speed break there to kill those enemies, otherwise you will just get hit when you get in the launch ring. So it's almost like they intended you not to be able to do this on this version of the mission, because it kind of stops you in a way. It's kind of like they thought, we'll put a bunch of enemies here and then it means you can't do that. But with a few sneaky moves and obviously going backwards, I don't think the game ever expects us to go backwards there, and backwards homing attack. But by doing that, that does allow you to do that. And do a little bit of a skip, which is lovely. So now we have a rampage level, and this is the first rampage we're going to see with a big cheese involved. So the first thing to do is to kill these enemies. We're going to go backwards here. I've already got hit. That's fine though. We do have rings in this section, I believe. There we go. He's gone into defensive mode, but that is fine. There we go. We're into here. And as you can see, we have some rings. I'll save some for myself. So, we've hit 6 enemies. We're going to hit these 2. And we're going to stomp. And we're going to go back in the same section. And we're going to see the same 2 enemies. But they counted on the counter. And we're going to do the same again. And we're going to see the same 2 enemies. And they're going to count towards the counter. And we're going to do the same again. And this is the cheese. So, basically, by going backwards here and moving just forward enough for them to spawn in, but not going to the next section, because if you do, the game locks you from going backwards. So here, unfortunately, fell down. That is absolutely fine. It does mean we're going to just have to go around again. Yeah, you can basically just cheese the game, and this is actually way faster than playing the mission normally. I do have to be a little careful, though, because this one doesn't spawn quick enough for me to do a homing attack. So it's a little trickier than it looks, and especially to get perfect cycles. So unfortunate there, just going to do a little speed break to catch me up. I can't hold speed break there, I do have to let go fairly early, because otherwise what happens there is you just speed past the spring, and you just go round in a circle, basically, in that loop. It's actually not worth doing that. And that is Levitated Ruin finished. Next is Pirate Storm.
Shara.
Be careful, Sonic!
So we are getting close to the point where we would actually be unlocking sub-warp boost in the regular run, in the regular 80% run. We would not normally have it for this level, but it would be unlocked in this area, and I will point it out when we get there. It's normally a very, very important mission for 80%. Gotta be a little careful here, because these crates and stuff that are in the water can dip and be a little bit of a troll. So some of these barrels will actually rise and fall. Not all of them do, though. So knowing which ones do which patterns is good to know. And we're just going to go through here, go down here, and you do have to wait for this one. We're on a pretty good cycle, though, and we're also on a good cycle for the next one. Fantastic. Yeah, they can actually submerge even once you've already homing attacked, so you do have to be a little careful that you don't get trolled. We'll do some short jumps. Go through these. And dodge. Oh, not quite. Just going to stomp there. Cut my losses. I know we're getting hit. Pretty nice checkpoint, though. And we'll get through here. So we now have a little bit of an auto-scroller section. And I'm going to use Pearl Collector just to get as many of these pearls as I can. Don't really need to, but it's just something to do in this section. And what we're going to do now is we are actually going to speed break down here. And we're hopefully just going to get straight onto here without needing to kill the enemies. Here, I'm actually going to go for a half shot. A full shot actually won't work for this skip. So now what I'm going to do is hit this spring. Or just miss it. Or just miss it. That's fine. I am going to need to hit these enemies then. So I'm going to need to go back, hit the enemy spawning trigger. Because I've kind of done something not how the game intended me to do it. That is fine. Now we're going to need to go on this spring. But what I was going to do there, if I managed to do it, was use the rail as soon as we went on that path. And that would allow me to just skip doing all that section at the bottom. And it would just get me straight to the top here. Unfortunately, we didn't hit the spring, so it didn't work. And here, you can just speed brake to hit these enemies. Didn't actually work. Oh, it's because I missed that one. That's unusual. Normally, it's the last one that's a bit of a problem. And that's why I was focused on that one. But I think it's because I was too far away from the first one. So, once again, we're going to speed brake. And we're going to go to the top. Just going to wait for the fire attack to happen. And we're done.
That was pretty rough.
Sonic,
So some of these ramps actually don't spawn in until you kill all the enemies. Some of them are only reliant on one. I'm going to dodge that spring because it's slow.
oh, it's so
And here I'm going to do a speed brake because it's pretty quick here. Dodging all the stuff going on. That was really good actually. Normally you would not have that high of a soul gauge to do that much of a skip. That's actually the first time I've done that much of a skip in that section, even in NG plus Lite. So that's pretty good. And because we killed a bunch of enemies, we actually have more to use for this section. Didn't quite work out there, that's fine. I'm going to use some of it now to get through. Just a little faster. Makes that checkpoint much nicer and less costly, which is good. So, like the barrels, these can actually troll as well. And here, very deceiving, you can't actually just fall there. You have to get through by jumping, otherwise you will just go in the water. And here, there's a really precise thing, I've only ever hit it once, where you can clip through the obstacle, but failing that, we'll just hit the enemy using the speed brake and make it through there. And now we have a bit of an auto-scroller. You go a bit faster if you hit these white rings, I believe, but you don't have to. It is Sonic and the Secret Ring. I love it. I love this game. And all its jank. This game has shown so much jank today, but we still love it.
great job, Sonic.
What would this game be without jank, though? Let's be real. Let's be real. This game is nothing without jank. So we can dodge that. That's a really, really slow gate to open.
Don't strain yourself too much.
And we're going to be a little slow through here. We're actually just going to dodge all the fire because we're too quick. And speed brake to the end. Sorry to hear. Yeah, well, it's to be expected. This game being jank is just to be expected. It's just normal. It's normal behaviour. So now we have a Die Hard challenge. And this is actually a really, really tricky one because as you can see from this area, there's a lot of pits, there's a lot of water, there's a lot of death. So, unfortunately, that can be a little costly. I'm going to be risky here though. We're going to see if we can save some time by doing this. So, we're going to do a stomp and a jump and a stomp at the beginning, as usual. Going to go for this spring. That was a very early cycle. Going to go right here, go for this, hit the spring, and that is already that first pretty difficult section done. Do remember though, it's deathless, so the moment I die, there are no checkpoints. I have to restart. So hopefully we can get through the rest with no issues. Now here, what you want to do is you want to go on the rail. You can go right there, but if you fall in the water, you obviously do die. Fantastic there. Only got hit by the last one, which is not too costly actually. I'm gonna go for a full catapult, please. Thank you. There we go. And here I'm going to be very, very slow because if you get hit here, there is no backup pot. You will just die.
That was close.
Okay, nice.
No problem.
There we go. And here you can use the barrel. I am actually just going to go for the rail. Managing to dodge the spike there as well. And we're going to speed brake to the end. That was actually really good. 106 for that. Pretty nice. Thank you for the good lucks as well. I appreciate it. And yeah, saving a ton of time there, because that took me a long time in PB, actually. So, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good to see that. Because it can be difficult, that one. If you don't get your way with some of the strats. And they were risky strats as well. It's actually the first time I've pulled that off first try in an NG plus Lite run. It's still difficult in any percent, but yeah, when you've got the additional speed, it just adds that extra layer. Okay, that is fine, that is fine. So this is a stealth attack mission, so unfortunately my fire gaze there, where I was trying to stomp and avoid hitting the enemy, did mean that I hit the enemy with the fire. I did it again. Okay, let's not do that. Let's be slow. Let's be slow. Sorry for hating, I played this game when I was like 7. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I did not beat this as a kid either. Listen, I'm determined to take this to a marathon, to an in-person marathon. I'm determined. I will do it. I am this game's strongest soldier, even if it does hate me. Okay. Well, that just dropped my input, so whatever. It seems this is punishing me for not dying in the previous level. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go slow. There we go. So the enemy spawns. You cannot homing attack that enemy, because if you do, you're going to kill it. It's a one-shot, that enemy. Not all of them are, but that one is. For example, this one, I believe, is 2 shots. So it's a little bit easier. But you can die in this level, you just can't hit an enemy. Dying is fine. This is pacifist only. That's all that matters. And here I'm actually just gonna slide and jump over, otherwise it's a little bit tricky. No, don't, no. No. Okay, that's fine though. Because it's not a kill, it's just a death. Ooh. That's why I tried to jump the first time. Yeah, and that's because I didn't make the cycle as intended, but that's okay. So here, once again, the game being a massive troll, this time they only put 1 spike ball here, and on the Deathless one, they put 2. Yeah, the devs seem to care, but they also seem to love to troll in this game. That's what I get from this. Anyway, last final troll, here's an enemy spawning on a box. We have to jump here, and then stomp at a very, very careful moment. And once again, speed break at the end and we're done.
No problem.
Believe it or not terrible. I think I probably died in PB as well, judging by that split. I lost 36 seconds there. And next up is a Rampage level, and similar to the one we just saw, there is a huge cheese for this. Now, this is actually the level that would be really important in regular any percent. So what we would need to do is we would actually need to go into here with no sub-warp boost. Sub-warp boost is the big OP skill that I'm using at the moment, which makes me go really fast. We wouldn't have it for this mission. So what we would need to do is we would need to beat this in 1 minute 25 or less. And what that does is it gives us the gold medal. That is the condition on this specific mission, not any other in the game, this one. That is the specific condition to unlock only getting 2 enemies there, because I didn't go far back enough. That is fine, because we need 7 cycles of 3, that gives us 21, so we can afford 1 as a backup. That is fine. I have to go a little bit further back. There we go, and that's the trigger to spawn in the enemies. Good demonstration by me. Totally intended. But yeah, sub 125 would give you sub warp boost. So again, these controls are really difficult. I have to hold the controller upside down. I have to stomp with 2, go backwards with 2. So sometimes you're just getting a bunch of mashed jumps rather than actually going backwards. But this has little intricate moments where you're slightly faster here. For example, these reduced cooldowns. I have to be a little careful now because I have no rings. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, reduced cooldowns for homing attacks does help there. But yeah, that would have given us sub-warp boost. And from this point on, all the levels we see, we would normally have sub-warp boost anyway. The only difference now is all the extra skills we have and also the additional soul gauge we have at our disposal, which gives us a lot more speed break that we can use. That is not the right level. This is defeat the boss. This is why I've got my splits open. Yeah, that's a hands-off mission. Hands-off mission is not in here. We will see a hands-off mission later, but not yet. So that's another nice thing about NG+, because in regular any percent, the game actually, optimally, you can have bosses really close together. Like, there's actually, I believe 5 bosses in this game, and you have 2 groups of 2, because they're just that close together. So now, because of sub-warp boost, what we're going to be doing is we can just charge straight into the boss without really needing to accelerate a lot, and with a carefully timed air dash there as well, you can go for another hit.
The source of power is its horns.
That isn't working? Okay, that's unusual. This game can be a bit of a pain sometimes for these hits. So once again, going to go for a jump and a carefully timed dash. There it is. Going to go for the other horn this time. Interesting. And still not getting it. Wow, my controller is bugging lately. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to go forwards. And what happens there is it actually skips that attack cycle. And we're just going to go straight for him. Yeah, as you can see, didn't expect there to be much left there. And because we're next to a ramp again, we can do the exact same thing. There we go. Finish that one off. And we have one more cycle to go.
Finish this thing off.
It's not over yet, Sonic. Stay
This
sharp.
one is the longest one. Ah, it's not working, unfortunately. Yeah, I had a feeling it just keeps dropping my inputs. I'm not really sure what's going on today. Yeah, so in this section, in this attack section, the boss is always a fixed distance from you. So you can't actually hit it anyway. So just getting a very careful ring there. Gonna have to dodge these missiles for a second. They do home in on you, so you have to be a little careful. There we go. And one hit away, of course we were. Boss is an absolute troll today. And we are finished with Pirate Storm. Next up is Skeleton Dome. This is the penultimate area of the game. And the first one, as always, is going to be go for the goal. So there's a couple of skips here, mainly knowledge based. So the first one we're going to see is
Snow?
essentially by taking the top path,
Something else.
we can actually skip a ton of this. So here we're going to go on the top anyway. This is just a small thing.
Use that to climb up.
And I'm just going to be a little careful. It's not as scary in NG+, because in regular any percent, if you get hit there, you lose all your speed, all your soul gauge, importantly. Nice section there. Normally you can just get physically stuck on that for a while. And that's really good. Nice. And by speed braking there, you can just go through all the enemies, all the obstacles. And here, we are going to kill this enemy, take this secret ramp onto this inconspicuous top path. And by doing that, we are able to go down here, carefully timed fire stomp there, and we are going to go on the top path. And as you can see, rather than the bottom where there's a load of danger and a load of slow sections, it's just a bunch of ramps and a bunch of pearls where you can speed brake, and we even have some to spare there. It's fantastic. Really, really quick section and gives us a bit of a head start into the next area. It's actually one that I didn't know about when I was first running the game, but it's a huge, huge skip. Really, really worth doing. It's another skip that not only is fast, but it does make the game itself safer, because the less stuff you have to do in this game, the safer the game itself is. That's just a fact of Secret Rings. So here, I need to be a little careful because I'm on 0 rings now. Hit this switch. We have to kill those 3 enemies there. And these enemies spawn so slowly that you can just run through. It seems like when they playtested this game, they seem to have playtested a few stages with specific skill sets. Mainly skill sets you wouldn't have. Just going to slide there to be sure that I'm not going to get hit. Yeah, they kind of tested it with skills that you would have at that point in the game, necessarily. So if you're over-leveled like I am on an NG Plus file, you're just kind of cheesing stuff a lot of the time. So, yeah. Also, a long ledge section there. So we are actually having to do some of it. And these cycles are dependent on how fast you are in the rest of it as well. So, yeah, you wanna be a little bit careful. You wanna pay attention to all the skeletons there, see if they're gonna do their wave attack. And then here, what we're gonna do is we are going to speed break through. Or we're not. Or we're actually not going to speed break. What we're going to do is we're going to get hit to an enemy. We are going to get yeeted by a spike ball in the right direction. That's what's going to happen. I knew that was going to happen, and it was all intentional. Yeah, you just take what you can get with this game. If I'm honest, you just take what you can get. If the game's going to be nice and also simultaneously not nice, you just take it and round. Just go. Just go next. Just move on. Anyway, this section, the portals, you have to use the red one. It's not pick a pipe. It is just use the red one. And we're going to skip the chest there, otherwise you'd get a little bit stuck on it.
Looks like some kind of arena.
And once again, I can slide to have invincibility. So I'm doing that right here. I do want to get off this, though, and speed break through all this garbage and get right to the end. 350 there is pretty good. So next to the is a rampage one. Now this is not one we can cheese. This is the 40 Thieves one. So the lore in this area, lore update by the way, as I just golded by it, I believe that's 48 seconds. Wow. Again, only for NG plus Lite, but yeah. So the lore of this is that we are saving King Solomon, and he's giving us some intel on where the evil genie is hiding out, which is obviously, as we find out, Night Palace. Here, by the way, I have to hit these 5 switches in numerical order, and then, and only then, will the skeletons awake, and then we will actually be able to finish off this mission. It's a very, very meticulous way we want to handle this. Gonna just wait here, otherwise I'm gonna get bodied by the axe. And then here, we're gonna go for this, do a speed break into that. And that is not what I want, but sure, we're going forwards. Okay. We are now on a different path, and I need to kind of gain my bearings a little bit, because we have now skipped, like, a huge chunk of that dome. So now we're pretty much on our second lap, killing all these enemies. There is one spare one that you don't have to kill. So this one's jank. It actually only spawns in when you're on its level horizontally. So considering this was a bit impromptu, I'm not overly unhappy with this. So this is actually the beginning again. This is the easiest section. And we're all done. That was actually pretty good. 131. Yeah, the speed break there not costing me in the end, surprisingly. But yeah, the lore is that the evil genie, Eraser Jinn, sent the 40 Thieves to kill. I should menu rather than explaining lore. Maybe I should do both at the same time. Yeah, he sent the 40 Thieves to kill King Solomon, and we find him in one of the cutscenes, just a pile of bones on a throne. So yeah, now what we're having to do is find the king's bones. That's not the right mission. Huh. Go again. See, this is the problem with yapping at the same time as having to remember the missions I need to play. So, right, find the King's Bones. Here we go. Don't you just love it, losing time to menuing? It's fantastic. So, this section we are going to just be going straight through. And then we're going to homing attack. Not even homing attack, we're just going to go straight through. You do not have to homing attack these bones, but you can. And then a very specific way of doing this section. So here we're just going to hit one enemy and stomp, and the enemies don't spawn in time, so you can just grab the bone for free. And the next one, we're going to go right here. And we are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stomp. That will kill the other 2 skeletons. You get this one for free. And that is a really simple way of doing that section. It's another one that is easier and faster than trying to flail through, not knowing how to do it. So here, we're actually going to speed break. This is a huge like chase sequence the game wants you to do. No, we don't care. We're just going to go. No, you're going to hit me. And here we're going to go top half. This is a lot faster here. Be a little careful because I'm on 0 rings. And here we're going to get in the pot, get out of the pot, get in the other pot down below, and we're going to go left here. So the reason we want to do this is, and by the way, every time I shake, I'm able to move a little bit further left. So we can just keep on going closer and closer. Get to the end here. You actually can't stomp straight away there, so you have to do an air dash first. Don't know why. And then you can speed break through here. The gates don't spawn properly, so you can just skip them all. And that's the level. That is it.
That was tight.
And the final one in Skeleton Dome is the Rampage level. So this is a rampage that you actually cannot cheese. We have to be very careful here in the enemies we hit. There's also a switch that spawns an extra 3 enemies. A lot of switches spawn enemies in this one. And the important thing to note is that skeletons do not count towards your total, except for the ones at the end, for some reason. So here I'm going to hit this switch, go backwards, hit the switch. So yeah, that skeleton will just be stunned. It does not count towards our total. So here, spawning in this one. And we want to aim for 4 in the first area, 5 in this one, and 6 in the last. So as you can see there was an enemy. It did despawn. And we're going to hit these switches so we can get to the next area. And it also does spawn in these enemies. Here we're going to use this flying pot because this spawns in 3 more enemies. Nice. Good fire gaze there. Okay, so here, what you want to do is you actually want to stomp at a very specific time. Believe it or not, that did not hit the enemy. That didn't either. Interesting. There we go. There we go, and we're going to speed break through, and we're going to die, apparently. Fantastic. I wanted that. So we're just going to wait. We're going to be patient here. I can do the proper strat this time. I was on a weird cycle there. And we're going to speed break for the last one. And the last thing we're going to do is just hit a few of these enemies. Play it a bit slower so I don't actually fall down and hit the others. And that's it. And because the rest was pretty fast, we're actually saving time there. Fantastic. So last up is Night Palace. It's the last area in the run. And we're going to do these big boss fights. We've got 2 more coming up. The last 2 levels we're going to be playing all the boss fights. You got the final boss and then you got the true final boss. But first we've got a very visually appealing, in my opinion, section. This game was 2007. This was about 6 months into the Wii's lifetime, so yeah, very, very early on.
Don't worry.
Has to be remembered when you look at this area. Oh, not quite getting that there. So there's a pretty frame precise charge jump you can do there. And that will actually do, even though you were just coming out of a different section entirely, it will actually let you charge a jump on the ledge, as I did for those other 2 sections, which are not as precise. Just the same as all the other ledge skips we have in this game. Yeah, that first one I've only ever hit a couple of times. And then here, it's the hold right section. It's the hold right section. You just hold right. You skip everything by doing this. Honestly, the most important step to running this game is just watching a run of someone else's to see what they do. For me, I watched second place runner Kuro's run. It helped a lot. And yeah, there's a ton of strats you can pick up. And not only strats you pick up, but it also just makes the game more bearable to run. When you don't know what you're doing in this game, it's absolutely miserable. And when you know what you're doing, it's still miserable, but I mean, you know, it's less miserable. No, I'm joking. This game has been really, really fun to learn. Honestly, I mean, I have had a ton of fun playing this game. Like, it's really fun to be able to bring this to marathons, and people look at it and think, why are you running this? Why are you doing this? But it's honestly, it's not too bad. And it's a lot more inviting as a speed game than as a casual game, I would say.
Where could this be?
So here we go, we now enter these portals. Important thing here is these hexagonal floors. You cannot be in the middle, because as soon as one of those spears hits the glass panels, you are just going to fall in. So you can't really stay in the middle. And they are on fixed patterns, but yeah, you do still have to be careful. So there's no supersonic like life drain in this game in terms of rings. There is a slightly different variant of supersonic we'll see later, Dark Spine Sonic. But yeah, in the chamber there, you do actually lose 2 rings per second. So you do have to be careful, grab those rich rings. That's why there's a load of rich rings in those rooms. So you can actually get through. But if you die in there, it's pretty scary, because you have to grab a rich ring very, very quickly upon respawn. Otherwise you're just soft locked. Which is possible, to grab a ring. But yeah, it's tricky. It's a difficult one. So yeah, we have to hit these hourglasses to make these portals appear. We have one more to go. And again, these spears are going to be coming in. We have these inconspicuous rails. There's an invisible rail there. We can just go on that path. And next up, yep, that is it for that section. Now, these inside sections actually do have strats. So the first one you want to go far on the left. The second one you want to go in the middle. And then the right, this one you want to go full right, because it's actually, yeah, making those... That's unfortunate. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Nice, right, we got it. I have to lock in a little bit here now, because this is a little bit scary, being on less rings. Right, let's get through without getting hit this time. There we go. As I was saying, the infinite death machine. And we'll speed right to the end, that's it. Sub 4 is not too bad. Actually a pretty good time save again. We are 155 behind PB, so not too bad. And I did actually PB this in practice only a few days ago. But that did also get the pretty much frame perfect or close to it trick in the final boss. So I don't expect another PB today. Anyway, we now have Uhu. This is our last Uhu race of the run. It's actually a pretty difficult one because of the final thing in this level is really, really tricky. So we have a really, really quick ledge climb here. Uhu also getting through quickly. I feel like Uhu gets the same skills that you do in a way. Because in a regular any percent run, Uhu would be going slower there, the same as I would be. I don't know, maybe it's placebo, but maybe it is true. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to speed break through this section because we've got loads to spare. And what I need to do here is this spring is very precise. It changes far too often. So you do have to be really, really careful to actually get on that spring. Rather than you homing attack it, it changes to a spike and then you get hit. Or, funnily enough, if you're really late to the hit, or to the homing attack, you can homing attack the spring. It will change to a spike. You get hit to the spike, fall into the spring again. That has happened to me in a run. It changes too frequently. It doesn't work. Like, I get what they were going for to try and make it difficult, but yeah, as a beginner, it's very, very tricky.
I'm feeling something strange.
So now this is a Die Hard challenge, and we are going to fly quite close to the sun on this one. We are going to take some risks here. So first thing is to go down here, and we are going to go a little jump and a air dash. Same again. And yeah, as you can see, there are huge pits that we can fall in there, but we are dodging them. So, the room will now tilt. That is the gimmick of this level. So, what I'm going to do a carefully timed jump there. Try and homing attack, didn't quite work, that's fine. Yeah, you want to homing attack the light there, and it will actually give you a bit of a boost in that section. That's okay. It's not a huge thing, especially with the speed that we have. So we now have the boost pads. And here, it's actually optimal to just go for a speed break rather than deal with any of that. And because I have skimmer, you can actually just dodge all of that. I did get hit there, but it has given me a bunch of soul gauge, which is nice. Gonna grab some more rings as well. And then the hardest thing in the game, avoiding these walls. You pretty much just want to hug that right-hand wall as soon as you are in line with it. Just to give yourself a good chance of getting through. With this speed, it's really possible for you to just bonk on a wall and lose all your speed. It's a lot worse early game in a regular any % run. Sonic, where are you going? There's a path there, mate. What are you doing? There's a path there. I promise. I promise there's a path there that you're supposed to be going on. Yeah. So the room will now tilt again, and there is a big skip here. So this is the one I was talking about earlier. It says 50 seconds if we hit it. So you're supposed to go on the top path after hitting these enemies. But what we're going to do instead is we are going to do some attacks here, do some well-timed stomps, hit this last enemy, and then about 2 o'clock on this circle, didn't quite work, that's fine. We have no rings, but we do have soul gauge. Oh, no. Okay, we didn't get hit, we got lucky. Okay, so I'm going to just take a moment, line this up. There we go, we got it. We managed to show off that one. So yeah, that does, believe it or not, even with that taking 3 tries, that saves time over doing the slow wait, which is 50 seconds. And that is the end of the level. Yeah, that's uppies, coined by Argic. Sonic demands uppies. So now we have a hands-off level. This is a mission we only see once in the run. So it says, finish with 0 rings. And if you're a fan of Taskmaster, I think that's a good analogy for this one. Because all the information is on the task. Finish with 0 rings. So what do you think we're going to do? We're going to grab rings. And then at the end, we're going to lose them. And we're going to finish with 0 rings. Because the game lets you do that. I'm glad they let you do that, if I'm honest, because this would be a huge pain if they didn't. I imagine that's probably the inspiration for the mission called No Pearls, where you have to not collect any pearls. The problem with that one is pearls aren't really a currency in the game. So the moment you hit a pearl there, it's over. So yeah, a lot harder than the no rings challenges. But it's a really quick one here. And it's actually better because of the skills I have. Because I'm losing so many rings, it's actually a lot easier here. So I'm going to try and drain it. There you go. Hit that one, and you can just go under there without jumping, and you will avoid that enemy. is it. And we have 3 more levels to go. This is the last regular level. This is another rampage. So this one has a mix of farming, but also going forwards. So we're going to farm the first 3 enemies 4 times, and then we're going to go forwards, because that's the part where you want to go forwards. You don't want to farm all 20 on these. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and stick to the middle and fire gaze, because that's what we want to be doing. Fire gaze has that area of effect to hit both enemies, and then you can also actually fire gaze that end one from the floor as well. That's how big that hitbox is on it. So we have to go just past the boost pad. You can't just use the boost pad, it doesn't work. If you just use the boost pad, the enemies will not spawn as you want them to. You can use speed breaks. And here, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to speed break down here, get to these ones, and we're going to take it a little bit slower here because I need to wait for the fire to stop with that last enemy. There we go. And we're going to speed break this bit. And at the end, we are just going to do a few stomps. There we go. You can actually do a stomp in the middle on that last one and hit both of them. It's pretty tricky. I actually did it first time I learned that strat, and then never again, which is kind of funny. So now we have a Razor Jin. Now to make this a little bit trickier, we are going to stick with the skills that I have currently equipped, which does mean we're going to take a bunch of rings damage as we have been in the rest of the run. The cheese of this would be to just unequip all those skills, but nah, we're going to live life on the edge for this. So, this guy has 5 attacks. The first one is this. It's a line. You can't hit him for that. Then the other one is a V. You can't hit him with that. This is an L. You can hit him with that. There is a blind spot in there. But assuming you hit when there's a red marker, you will hit him. And as with everything else in this game, because of Skimmer, I can actually dodge attacks by sliding. You can do that in the boss. And I probably will at some point. So here, this is the main attack. So you're supposed to use Time Break there, but we are going to avoid it by basically the moment the text disappears, you know he's going to go forwards. Oh, I got hit there. That's unfortunate. So that is unfortunately going to mean the cycles are off. The cycles are always the same if you play optimally. But unfortunately, they are going to be wrong now. So he's now doing a Z attack. That is the other one he can do. Now, the way to avoid these blind spots in the homing attack that you can do is to stay to the left-hand side. The problem with that, though, is especially for the, I mean, to be honest, for both the L and the Z attacks, it's really, really difficult to dodge. Like, it makes the attacks themselves really hard to dodge. I don't know how that didn't work. That's actually really surprising that didn't work. Okay, I'm now on 0 rings, so this is scary. Gonna avoid that blind spot, go for that. Gonna make sure I grab 21 rings specifically, because that means if I take, say, 40 rings of damage, and I'm on 41, it gives me 2 hit points rather than 1. So the single rings make as much difference as the rich rings sometimes. Remember in Sonic, you only need 1 ring. So now he actually does attacks faster, and these blind spots do become a bit trickier to deal with. And here's a Z attack. Gonna go for him there. Oh, I only got 1 hit and then he dodged me. So he's now doing another main attack. I'm hoping, if this isn't the end, it's gonna be close. There we... Oh, no! Wow! I actually did do the attack there and it just didn't go through. Right, I need to lock in here because I could die and there's no checkpoint. Right, come on. Oh, no! Oh, that's so unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. That's fine. That's because of the skills I have equipped. I'm taking so much more damage. But yeah, two inputs dropped, interestingly, which doesn't help me. That's fine. And I've also avoided that. And I'm now on 0 rings. So, The good thing with sub warp boost, if there is a constellation here, yes, I'm taking more damage, but it does mean I'm doing more loops of the arena. So as you can see, there's more rings coming up already. Yeah, thank you. That should work. I don't know why that just wasn't behaving. Razor being a massive pain here. Okay, there we go. Now he's actually getting here. I would say it honestly had like 3 moments that I wasn't expecting to just not work. Maybe I should be using the skimmer a little bit more. See, yeah, he's doing it again. He's avoiding me there. Because I can't go too early, otherwise I won't get the homing attack. If I do it before the red marker appears, I won't get the homing attack anyway.
Come, you filthy rat, and face me.
There we go. So that's another hit. The main side attacks actually do a lot more damage than the regular homing attacks. And if you're wondering why I'm not using Fire Gaze, it is because you can't actually reach him with it. So as I'm saying, yeah, this blind spot again, if I'm on the left hand side, then yes, I would avoid that happening. But also, seriously 4 times now. How? The game has been very mean today. Okay, apparently I'm just banking on side attacks at this point. I don't know how this is not working. It's not even just this boss, it's also been... Okay, there's the 2 rings, that is what I mean. Suddenly those 2 rings are really, really useful. Alright, I'm just gonna lock in on this because this boss just does not want me to have a good day. Okay, I'm in the middle, I don't know why that isn't working. Okay. It's time to just lock in. There we go, there's a hit. So, if you do the optimal cycles, what you actually want to do is on one of these hits, rather than doing 3 attacks, you actually only want to do 2. To make him deliberately nerfed. Okay, that's fine, we grabbed another rich ring. I'll just do a full stomp, just so I come to a dead stop. There we go, thank you, Eraser. We got through eventually. And the final part here, we have one more. We actually don't need to equip the skills this time, because there are no skills in this final level. It is just full on. You have the full... oh, hello. That's not what I wanted. I actually do want to take this slower at the beginning. There we go. So, this is Alpha Layla Walayla. This is, basically, this is still a Razor Jin. Now, this is when he has absorbed 3 of the world rings. The lore of the game is that we've collected the world rings, and now he's stolen them. But he has absorbed 3 of the world rings inadvertently, and he's transformed into this incomplete monster. But Sonic has also absorbed 2 of them and turned into Dark Spine Sonic, which is a fan favourite, only appearing in this game. And here's Bicycle Strap. So I actually didn't hear that because my earphones fell out. But basically what you want here is you want to hit 13 times. This boss has 25 hits. Conveniently, you get 12 for 3 on every cycle. But if you get a very specific, and I mean like 2 or 3 frame window, what will happen, and that is a very good cycle by the way, because we filled up the gauge early, he's actually going to go for an instant attack. That is fantastic. That's the perfect second cycle. Really, really good. Yeah, you charge up soul gauge here by just mashing on the Wii remote motions. Yeah, so if I do Bicycle Strap, and I get 13 hits, I don't know if it happened. If we get 4 lights here, that will mean we get our 2 cycle. No, not quite. That's fine. That's a 12. So we will have to play the harder wave here. Getting a pretty good start, but if I get hit to any of these, we will lose soul gauge. As you can see, there it is, all gone. That's lucky. That's lucky. Thought I was getting hit there. Okay, I'm gonna have to dodge these pink ones, and I can use time break to dodge, speed break to dodge that. You can use time break, but speed break just goes straight through them. Very precise there. Yeah, you know what cycle he's gonna go for based on his patterns and his motions. Yeah, he's got a few different attacks he can use. So that is another energy ball going towards him, and time is coming up on the mission complete. There's the final hit, the one hit we needed. We'll let the cutscene play out for fun, why not? This line goes pretty hard.
Your tale is finished, Eraser. Next time, try writing a better story.
And that's time. 142. Would have been a 141 if I skipped the cutscene, but you want to see it, don't you? You want to see the cutscene. So, that is Sonic and the Secret Rings. Pretty happy with that. We managed to get through. It's fine. Yeah. The game was being a real pain there in places, but we did manage to get through. And you know what? We'll sit on the cutscene while we close out the day. But that has been Sonic and the Secret Rings. It is an interesting run. Yeah, I mean, it does feel like you're fighting the game a lot of the time, but yeah. We managed to make it through, and underestimate as well, which is pretty nice. Even without that 2-cycle. 2-cycle, basically, you need a very specific 3-frame window where you get a motion input, and then shortly after, a specific window where you don't get a motion input. So it's a really, really odd skip. And yeah, it is quite puzzling how exactly it works, but I managed to do it in PB. I don't know how. It's only like the 4th time I've ever hit it, and the first time in an actual run. So yeah, now the law is Sonic is using the 3 wishes against him, and he is now gonna send him back into the lamp and restore the Arabian Nights to the way they were. But yeah, that is the run. Thank you for watching, everyone. We will find someone to raid, but we will be back tomorrow as well. Don't forget we have some incentives for early on tomorrow. We have that upgrade to all upgrades for Yohane. We have the bid war for catch fish in Kirby. Lots of stuff going on. So yeah, join us tomorrow at 1 PM UK time and 12 PM UK time on Sunday because of scary daylight savings stuff that I did not account for when I scheduled the event. Yeah, I'm never doing that again, by the way. But I will be silent while we watch the credits here, or we'll watch the final bit of the cutscene.
Kara, I know you're there. Please stop him. We can start over. The 2 of us. I swear it. The world is mine.
Very dramatic end to this game.
I told you, I'm not a rat. I'm a hedgehog.
And yeah, there is the schedule as well. So tomorrow we have Donkey Kong Country Returns starting us off at 1:15 UK time. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Yeah, so that is pretty much it. The cutscene is almost coming to an end. But thank you for watching. We will be back tomorrow, and we will see you then. Bye-bye.